Okay, so we are ready to roll on into the next speaker here, and we have Armando Montelongo. Did I say it right? Montelongo, yeah, Montelongo, star of Flipping Nightmares and the original Flip This House on A&E. Now he's not actually here, but the associate for him, Devin, is here. Thank you very much, Devin, for showing up.
Yeah, it's just Devin, that's awesome.
Can you tell us a little about you tonight?
Okay, there you go. Not a whole lot. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good? Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Okay, we'll move it around however we need to. You guys having a good morning?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty decent? Got your coffee? Okay, cool. So my name's Devin. I'm one of Armando's head trainers. I'm really good friends with the man. And kind of one of the ways that happened is I've been very successful using his system. And one of the things I'd like to do is just switch this up a little bit because I'm good into the group. I would like to work with you on a little bit more individual basis and kind of see what it is you're looking to do as far as your real estate business goes. And that is whether you're just starting out, maybe you've never done real estate before in any aspect like I was when I started, or maybe you've done some real estate and you've done some deals and now you're looking to take your business to the next level. Does that make sense? Because everybody's a little bit different. So I want to make sure that we're going over the right things and making this as effective and efficient for you as I possibly can. So just so I'm familiar with everybody, how many of you have done some type of real estate deals, some type of investments, let's say, flipping, cash flow, something like that? A couple people? Yes? What's your name, sir? Peter? And what was your name, sir?
Andrew.
Andrew, you raise your hand?
I did. Just a couple rental properties.
A couple rentals? And that's fine, guys. So whether it's maybe some flips, maybe some rentals, maybe some accidental rentals that you didn't flip, but you need to get somebody inside of it, that's all good stuff. And to kind of understand who we are as a company, that's something that Armando teaches. So for those of you that have invested, what are some of the challenges that you have seen with those investments, either getting rental properties or flipping houses? Nate, give me a couple challenges that you've seen over the years that you've been doing this. Finding properties, okay. So that's a big one that we see a lot of the time, is getting this thing, finding it, and finding it at the right price. Okay, what else? Yeah?
Too low price, bad neighborhood, you know, that kind of stuff.
Neighborhood, okay, wrong side of the tracks,
Exactly.
whatever. Okay, what's that? Financing. Okay, cool, yeah. And the money, right? Because if you don't have $500,000, 1.2 is the medium house price here, I think, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have that cash, how are you going to get the deal? If you don't have it, are you going to get a bank? Are you going to get a private lender? Are you going to get a hard money lender? How many of you are familiar with those? Hard money lenders, private lenders? Okay. And we'll talk about the differences, but I think these two things are the most difficult to find. At least from what we've seen, we do this all over the country, is I need to find the right deal. How do I get it? Because maybe it gets on the MLS, and the second it does, it's gone. So how do I get these deals that are maybe off the market? And then how do I fund them? Where's the cash, right? Would any of that being part of a system help any of you start doing this business? Having either the cash or finding the properties, maybe having a network?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And the other thing is this, guys. I want to have this conversation because I can stand up here and say, okay, here's what we do, here's who we are, blah, 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 blah. But I want to have a real conversation with you and see what it is that you want to do with your business and how I maybe can facilitate that or help it. And say, instead of, oh, look at this, does that make sense? And you're like, yeah. What did he say? You know, so I want to have a real conversation about it, and I'm not going to sell you anything. Okay? You guys cool with that?
What? Are you kidding?
I'm not going to sell you anything. Yep. I'm just going to talk. We're going to hang out. I do have a $3,000 gift for some of you at the end of this. If it's something you want to do, would anybody be okay with that?
Yes.
You have a gift? Cool. So let's have the conversation. I'll go into this. How many of you are at least interested in doing some type of flip? Some type of flip? Okay. Here in Santa Barbara, In Santa Barbara? Somewhere else? Where's that?
Anywhere.
Anywhere really, as long as it makes sense? Okay, cool. I'll go over one example. So we got an 18-year-old kid. What we usually do, just to give you kind of like a snapshot, we teach people how to get the funding, whether they have their own money or their own credit, if they don't have to use their own, and how to find the properties at the right deal. Does the deal make sense? Because Armando has a precise system. So the numbers add up or they don't, and then we move on. I don't want somebody to get caught up. And that's the biggest thing is, I want you to make the mistakes here. I want you to ask the questions here in training, so that you fail here in training and not out there in the real world, and you go, dang, that was a $50,000 mistake. Or, man, that was a $100,000 mistake. I really don't want to do that again. Does that make sense? So I'll go over one deal in particular. 18-year-old kid, follows the system, gets a house in San Antonio, Texas. Okay? So how many of you are familiar with ARV? ARV? If you know how it stands for after repair value, a lot of realtors use the term fair market value, but this is how much it'll be worth once the property is repaired. So the ARV on that particular property is $245,000. Okay, $245,000. Not a whole lot if you're looking at Santa Barbara, but let's go over the numbers and see if you enjoy the profit of it. Okay, so he purchased the property for $128,000, and the repairs are $30,000. Okay, so right now he's in $158,000.
Question for you. When you say he purchased, are you talking about actual purchase or under contract?
Actual purchase. Yeah. There's not a huge difference, but yeah, you're talking about maybe like what a wholesaler would do.
Well, I'm just talking about, tying up the property versus actually purchasing.
Yep. So what he did is purchase it, and he didn't use his own money. That's the other thing too. He's an 18-year-old kid. You're thinking maybe mom's money, dad's money, whatever. He didn't use his own money. But for Pete, right?
Yes.
So Peter, okay. So does everyone understand? Because he brought up a good point. Do you understand the difference between just like tying the property up, which is what a lot of wholesalers do, which is fine too, and actually purchasing it?
But would you tie a property up and then put $30,000 into it if you didn't own it? You're usually tying something up to wholesale, you're not going to have it for that long.
Well, tying up to wholesale, I'm not going to put any money into it.
Yeah.
Tying up to wholesale, I'm not going to do it. But I'll make $5,000 or $10,000 here. You can do 20. Yeah. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't want you to just like nod your head, but I want you to get something from this. Okay, cool. So 158. So what's his gross profit between 158 and 245? Because that's all in investment, and that's what it's going to sell for. 87 grand. Would any of you be okay with having $87,000 profit in a matter of 90 days? Yes. Yes. Would you be cool with that? Yes. Okay. Does anyone have any type of like retirement accounts? Like IRA, 401k, TSP, something like that? Did you know that you can use that account to invest in real estate? And when the money comes back in, the money's tax-free and or tax-deferred, depending on how you set it up?
Yeah, especially with the solo 401k.
Self-directed? Is that what he said?
Yeah, completely
Yeah.
solo 401k.
Yeah.
Or Roth solo 401k.
There you go. And that it is. Roth, is tax-free. You can have any type of other self-directed, depending on how you structure, tax-deferred, and it's pretty cool. So, you want to make this deal a little bit cooler than just having 87 grand? No or yes? Okay. No or yes?
Yes.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to. It's up to you. Okay. So, in a highly appreciating market, what he could do, he could sell that house, make the 87 grand, but he's not going to. He's going to hold on to it. And in the next 3 years, that property is going to be worth $350,000. $350,000. So for holding on to it, he has the equity, and that's almost $200,000 of profit. At 18 years old, and well, now he'd be 22, 23. And while most people, anybody go to college? College? Racked up some debt, student loans, something like that? A lot of people right now between $60,000 and $200,000 in debt. He's already starting out $400,000 ahead of most people his exact same age. Yeah, I wish I would have known this stuff when I was 18 or even 20 or 22, 23. Okay, so how many of you would be interested in learning how to do something very step-by-step in a methodical, efficient manner? And if you're like me, because I didn't have any type of experience doing this stuff, have somebody walk you through it, mentor you through it. Does that make sense? And that's kind of what we're all about. To give you a background, Armando's company, just us residentially, have done over $1 billion in residential real estate. And that's billion with a B. So to give you kind of a snapshot of what that means in terms of time, if you go backwards in time a million, it is 12 days. If you go backwards in time a billion, it is 37 years. Do you think that that may have given us some tricks and some methods along the way to do some things in a little bit different ways than most people see that? Than most people do it. Those of you that are investing, how many of you would like to maybe get some more properties? Because the safety in this stuff is a lot of volume. I don't know, you've had some rentals?
Yeah, just a couple.
Couple rentals? What's everybody's goals? Like, kind of give me some feedback, give me some ideas. That way I can kind of point you in the right direction. What is something that you want to do as far as your real estate business? Flip-wise. And if you want to be specific on it, you can say, oh, I'd like to do, because whether you want to do 5 flips this year or you want to do 50 flips, we know exactly how to do that. And I can tell you, well, this is how much time you're going to have to put in, depending on what you do full time. Because a lot of people have $200,000 a month in flips. So that's creating a lot of volume, right? I need to create a lot of volume to get 200 grand a month in flips. Meaning I need to have 5 or 10 properties, and this is kind of like an assembly line at this point. I need to have 5 or 10 properties that I put under contract, and my contractor is going out and starting the work. I need to have 5 or 10 properties that are currently under construction, and I need to have 5 or 10 properties that are listed on the market for sale that we can do in 15 days or less, if that makes sense. And then what is going on is these properties are going away, and now I'm just acquiring these and pushing it along, and then it becomes this automated system that you're not doing a lot of work yourself, because 200 grand a month is something that's very doable, but I don't want to be doing the work myself, if that makes sense. I don't want to be going out to the jobs and visiting it, especially since, does everybody live here, Santa Barbara or area? Okay, I live in Arizona. We're doing an event in Dallas right now. So from here, I'm going to fly to Dallas. We're going to do some training there, but I live in Arizona, so I do deals there. My first deal is in Southern California, and we do deals all around the country. It helps to have these cool little devices that can send pictures and record video, and I can look at my email and show my contractor has done this work and sent me an invoice. Because can you tell the difference in a house that has a gutted kitchen and a completely renovated kitchen?
Yes.
Can you tell the difference?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you get a bill from somebody that says, hey, this is my invoice for $7,000, I redid this whole kitchen or I did the carpet, now it doesn't matter where I'm at in the world, I can look at that picture and say, well, yeah, this picture matches that invoice and I can pay that person without ever having to be there or exist. Same thing with those of you who have rental properties. Do you have them in your own name or a company name or maybe a mix of both? Does anybody besides you have rental properties? LLC? Peter, LLC? Okay, do your tenants know who you are? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they do. Maybe if they've been there forever. The tenants who I have in rental properties, they don't know who I am. They don't even know that I exist, which is the way that you want to kind of keep it. Because nobody wants that phone call at 3 a.m. saying that somebody's water heater's broken, or that you're going to have to fix this leaky pipe, or you have to fix this roof issue. They're professionally managed properties that are put in place, and they cash flow every single month, so that you don't have to worry about it, or worry about it very, very little. Does that make sense? What other kind of ideas do you have, or things that you want to accomplish? That can better whatever your business is right now. How many of you are realtors? Realtors? 3 realtors? 4 realtors? Okay. What do you want to do? And that's okay, guys. Like, let's have a conversation. You What do you guys want to do? Seriously, you can sit here. I mean, what's today? Saturday? You came here Saturday. You came here for something. I think everybody is. Go ahead.
More properties, more cash flow.
More properties, more cash flow. Okay, and that's kind of. It's good. It's a long-term thing, and it's kind of vague. I want to get specific too. Like, man, in 2018, I'd like to have 5 more cash flow properties, 10 more cash flow properties, or I would like to flip 20 different properties, right? So be kind of specific, because you guys showed up here Saturday. You obviously, I think you're in some type of growth stage in your life where you'd like to change something.
I'll put this out there. So everybody's here to just learn how to make money. You know, cash flow properties, fixed properties, so on and so on. Like, so the big deal is,
Cool.
what would you recommend? What's your process of finding the deal? Because once you find a deal, everybody here has money, and all we want to do is just take them down. So the flow of
Find the right deal.
finding, that's all it is.
So maybe
your-
you'll speak for everybody, maybe not. Maybe everybody has money, maybe they don't.
No,
Probably have a good amount of money, yeah.
We want to make money, or
Okay, here's an easy question. How many of you want to make a lot of money? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. Now we're in the right spot. So you want to make a lot of money. That's a really good point, is you have the money to invest. Maybe some of you, maybe you don't. When we invest, we don't use any of our money or our credit. Actually, I take that back. Half of my business, from what I do, since I live in Arizona, if I'm doing a deal in Arizona, I can personally get some money from somebody else to fund that deal. The other part of the flipping business is lending the money out. So if I have somebody that's here in Santa Barbara, or if I have somebody that's here in Dallas, or somebody that has gone through Armando's training and understands his system and does everything step by step, we're on the same page, you can now lend that person money. So I'll lend that person money, and now we can communicate on the phone and say, okay, where are we at on this stage? Where are we at on this piece? And that is through an email, through a text, and we're automatically on the same page no matter where you're at in the world. So maybe it is, you want to get more of these properties, you want to get more of the rentals or the flips going, but maybe you need a more effective method that shortens your time frame that you're spending on it, time frame that you're spending on these properties, and also time frame it takes for it to be completed. So those of you who've done flips, who's done a flip recently? You ever? Same thing? Pete, you've done a flip recently? Here?
not in Santa Barbara.
Was it something that you funded personally, or did you get a lender to fund it, or?
Well, there's so many ways to fund deals, right? So either
Yeah.
finance or private investor. Or
I'm talking about one that
we
you've
stay
done
away
recently,
from our
though.
own money, yes.
Your own money?
Yes.
Funded recently with your own money, and how long did it take from when you closed on that, started construction, everything, to when you sold it?
Well, this was probably about a 1.5-year project, so.
Big property?
Yeah.
Like how many square feet?
Well, each unit's probably about 4,000
Say it was a commercial property,
residential.
residential? Each unit though, you said, is
Yeah,
it like
it's-
a rental, like
Yeah, it's
an
just,
apartment?
tear down and then build up, someone's R2 and the whole thing, so, going from.
Okay, so you're not talking about like a single family home?
Yeah, these are 2 single-family homes,
Okay, it's like a duplex, okay. So, that took about a year.
year and a half.
Would it be cool if you could have done that same exact process? Well, how many square feet was it?
About 4,000.
4,000, okay, so our typical process, we're doing medium house prices, it's a 90-day process. That's gonna take a little bit longer, but how cool would it have
Well,
been
those are simple,
to do
those
that in
are-
5 months?
That's a pretty typical flip, right?
What's that, 90
About
days?
3, yeah.
Yeah.
60 to 90 days.
Has anyone else had that experience though? 90-day kind of key to key is generally what we shoot for, or has it been longer? What's it? Has it
Just
90
I
days
sold
or
a
longer?
flip that, took 3 months to sell from the time it was ready.
Okay, so that's the other part, is identifying what parts are moving. Because you can get a house for a really good deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, and if you're just doing a wholesale where you're not really fixing the property up, you're not buying it, it can be much quicker.
Oh, it can be much quicker.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense, guys? You can do a wholesale a couple weeks, week and a half. I put it under contract because you're selling it. Does everybody know how that works? Do I gotta explain it? I'm gonna do it anyway because we'll see. Okay. So Peter is selling a house. I'm making an offer on it. I put it under contract and/or assigns, right? So I put it under contract for X amount of dollars. Let's just say $500,000. and then he wants to buy it. What's your name, sir?
Rocco.
Rocco. Rocco wants to buy it. So if I'm a wholesaler, I can spit it out to the network and say, hey, I got this house. It's $500,000. Rocco's going to buy it for $520,000 though. And when we go to title and close, when that property closes, when he takes it over, because I assign it to him, I get a check for 20 grand. And that can happen in a week, 2 weeks, whatever. Now he takes that under control. And what's cool about it is if you want to do that, some people on our network, they want to wholesale deals, and they just want to get it going because they don't have any money. They want to make $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 on their first couple deals. Some people have money, and they can do it like Rocco, put the contractor in place according to the system. They do the construction according to the system. A realtor will list and sell that property according to the system, and now you make however much, whatever the profit was on that, which is $500,000, you're looking at least $80,000 to $100,000 if you want to be safe on it. So maybe that takes 4 months to do. Would that be cool with you guys? No or yes?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. And what's the law that says you got to do one at a time? Or can I do 5, 6, 7 of those same properties and make that as they're all closing, again, that assembly line thing? So the biggest kind of deal, I think everybody here, they wants to make money, but maybe you might want a system that's making it a little bit more effective and efficient, so we can help do that. How many of you would be interested in learning how to do that from Armando's team, and you don't even have to buy anything to do it? That'd be cool? Okay, so how about, okay, let me finish this piece. 350 grand now. He could do that from his self-directed IRA, 401k. Does that make sense? So I'll give you a real-world example. I did a deal in Hollywood that I needed $652,000 to purchase it. It was about $173,000 to do the renovations. Of that $825 altogether, I was about $98,000 short. So I needed what's called a gap fund. So somebody came in with 98 grand that I didn't have. None of it was my money. They came in with 98 grand, funded that from their self-directed 401k, and that property got under construction, listed, sold. When that was done, they got their $98,000 back into that account, plus $45,000 on top of that. How much of a return on investment is that? Close to. You can do it? Close to 50%, right? How many would be cool with close to a 50% return on investment? Going right back into their retirement account that's tax, that one was tax deferred, but it could be tax deferred or tax free. That's pretty cool. Oh, and by the way, that took 6 months. So in reality, it wasn't even, what's that? 100%. It's 100% return on your investment that they're in 100% control of, and they can do it over and over and over again. So maybe it's just finding those inconsistencies. Let me do this. I did tell you I was going to give away a gift. So how many of you, seriously, because I don't want to give this away like a ticket to do this thing, and people go, yeah, that's fine. And I always kind of hesitate giving away this stuff for free, but I just listen to what Armando says because he knows a heck of a lot more than I do. So how many of you would commit to like show up and actually learn some of this stuff and see if it would be any type of value to you, and take a weekend to do it? I mean, you took a weekend to sit here. Any of you interested in that?
You said it's free of charge?
Yeah, show up free.
Where's that?
Half. It's going to be here. Actually, Pablo, do you have?
In Goleta.
Can I have one of those, please, sir? Thanks. What do you guys call it? Goleta, Goleta?
Goleta.
Goleta?
Spanish, it's Goleta.
Okay, everybody says Goleta. Same thing in San Antonio.
That's my Spanish.
What is it? It's like Behar County,
Behar or...
but everybody
Bear.
calls it just Bear.
Yeah.
Bear County. Same thing. Casa Grande in Arizona. Casa Grande, right? Okay, so here's the deal. How many of you would be okay attending this? It's free. Show up. That's half of it. Just show up. It's here. It's Goleta. What is it, Marriott?
Courtyard.
Okay, I'll give you the information, but here's what it is, guys. You show up to this thing, take what you can from it. I'm not going to charge you to go there, but you got to show up. Half of all of this success is showing up to actually do something. So most people never do anything. And the way that I think about it is like, okay, you're here to change something. Maybe it's a small scale, maybe it's a big scale, but everybody in this room is here to change something in their life. Maybe I want to make more, maybe I want to get more rental properties. Okay, so see what it's worth. Come out here. Here's the catch though. There's one catch. You got to activate your ticket. So, how many of you would like to attend this? It's next weekend. Raise your hand. Just show up.
Can I
Go ahead,
let you
Linda.
know that
Absolutely, Linda.
Mario Estrada from the Central Coast REIA actually attended their event and he loved it. He said that he learned so much information that he didn't know before, and he's been in real estate for a long time, so he was really
Awesome.
appreciative that you
Good.
guys put the event together, and he really loved it. He told me it was a fantastic event.
Awesome.
And he went all the way to LA to take it.
He did the LA one?
And he actually had to get a hotel room and the whole 9 yards, but he invested
Yeah.
in that and he loved it.
Yeah, it's cool. Guys, if it's of use to you somehow, do it. Take advantage of something. I mean, you showed up here, do something. Armando's giving it to you for free. This is a $3,000 gift, by the way. So we put on these 3-day trainings, and we go over 3 things. We go over flipping, we go over cash flow, and asset protection. Because it's really, really cool to make money, but say you make that $100,000 on a flip, does anybody know what their, like, tax deduction, does anybody know what their tax liability is for that? What are you going to have to pay on it?
35%, $35.
Yeah. Everybody's going to, you could do that and throw it into another deal. Yeah, awesome. But it'd be cool to have 5 or 6 different avenues of, here's 5 or 6 ways to get into this deal. Here's 5 or 6 ways to get out of it. Do the one that's best for you, but at least you have the knowledge, at least you have the information, and do with it what you will. So how many of you would be interested in doing that next weekend? Raise your hand. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Everybody raise your hand and do this. Keep it up for a second. You have to activate this ticket, and Pablo might give it out. Do you have some extra ones?
Yeah.
So let's do this. Write down this number and send a text to this phone number. Can you give it to me, Pablo? I don't memorize it by heart. Now, I'll write it up here, actually, so you guys can see it. Can you text this number? It's 210
529
529
8700.
8700. Okay, 210-529-8700. What you have to do, and then show me what your results are, okay? So, text that number, your first and last name, so we know who you are, can put you on a roster. Text, what's the other thing? Okay to text? Oh, your email, because we're going to be sending you some homework. So text your email in that, and then text okay to text. So that way we can legally text you. And then show me and Pablo when you're done. Like, pull out your phones right now and do it. You don't need to write down.
Just raise it.
Yeah, just raise your phone and show him. Funny how we kind of do that. You ever see, like, if you write down a phone number or something now? Like, oh, what's the phone number? You write it down on a piece of paper, and then you put it in your phone. When you could have just taken out your phone and written it down there. It's like old habits. That's cool. Show me, guys, when you're done. Give me, let me have a couple of these. Thank you.
So what do you want? Do you want email and?
Yep, just first and last name, your email address, and then the words okay to text. And then show me and I can give you one of these tickets, that way they're activated. Bring this to the workshop, and then what I'll do here is just kind of open up, have some questions. Like, let's have a real conversation, guys. I don't want to just, you be like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Rocco, right? Rocco Norton, email 529-8700. Okay, here you go. Good. And then okay to text, right? Yeah. Well, I didn't meet you, sir. What was your name? Reed. Reed, nice to meet you. Thank you. Let's see here. Peter's got all kinds of phones. Did you write this down, Eddie?
Yes.
Okay. Pull it out of your phone. And do it that way you can send out if you're interested. And if any of you haven't noticed, I'm not a crazy, like, professional speaker. I just do this stuff for a living. Armando's taught me how to do it. Listen, my background's in the military. I had no idea what the heck I was doing in real estate 5 years ago, okay? Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but either way, I've had a lot of success doing it because all I did, I'm a guy that's very good at shutting my mouth and doing exactly what I'm told by people who have achieved what I'm looking to achieve, if that makes sense. All I had to do was follow the system. Armando has it checked out in boxes, step by step. Let me see. Pablo, you want to show them? Bro, let's see. 597. Your name's Thor? Dang,
We got a Thor.
We got a Thor? We got a Thor at the bus,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Thor, that's cool.
Oh.
Matthew? Yes, sir. Nice
What's
to
your
meet you,
name?
sir. I'm Devin.
Devin.
Nice to meet you both. Which, the Navy. I'm okay? Am I safe? Oh, there you go. Anybody military?
Oh.
Any other veterans here? No, you were? What, here in California or which branch?
Marines.
Marines? Thanks for your service. Okay, guys. Thank you. I love that. All right, what do you got? There you go. Okay, guys, make sure you bring this to the workshop. So what I can do is, did we get everybody? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. You already got it? Not yet, Jim?
Next weekend?
This is next weekend, so this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You need to get a hold of Pablo in the office. So what I would do is activate your ticket so you at least have the spot. Guys, this is a $3,000 gift that I'm giving to you for free right now. It's for you and a guest. So you can come and bring somebody along with you. They don't have to be in this room right now. Could be a family member, could be somebody that's like, man, I'm kind of interested in real estate, whatever. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, you said activate the ticket. What do we have to do to activate it?
What you just did, you sent that text. As long as you sent the text, then you're good. Okay, you got that?
What are the hours?
Hours are, every day is about 9 to 5, except for,
8 morning, or can it start on Friday morning?
Friday and Saturday will be 9 to 5.
Where?
it's
gonna
so
be in the
Friday.
courtyard in the
Every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is about 9 to 5.
We're gonna send you the address.
Yeah.
And we'll
So,
be sending the address out.
Sunday is a little bit later though, it's 9 to 3, or a little bit earlier, I should say. And we're gonna go over everything kind of specifically. We like to keep, because I don't want to like give you a ticket and then have 100 people show up, because I like to keep the instructor-student ratio kind of small. So it'll be something in a similar environment like this. That way, and you're gonna have 4 instructors, and we're gonna sit there and really sit down and work out a plan with you and see what it is you want to accomplish. Maybe you take one thing from it, maybe you take 50 things from it, but at least give yourself a shot. And then we'll see what we can do to help you. What other questions or guidance or something do you have for me?
I just want to find cash buyers that
Cash buyers.
I could hook up with.
Oh, I didn't even tell you this. Cash buyers. Okay, this is cool. So what's a rich guy doing? Handing out a bunch of tickets for $3,000 for free, just showing up here. He's got to have an evil plan, right? Got to have an evil plan. Take over the world? Okay, here's the evil plan. Evil plan is, if Armando and his team can come into a market, regardless of where it's at in the country, we identify hypermarkets all over the country. Southern California is always something that's going to be doing that. If I can come in and I can purchase hundreds or even thousands of properties at the same time off of bank tapes, do you think that our network may get a discount on those properties? No or yes? Yeah, and do you think if we put property management companies in place to manage those hundreds and thousands of properties, do you think that we might get a discount on their services as well? No or yes?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. So it's a big volume thing. So you're looking for money to fund the deals. Other people are looking for the right set of deals. So Armando has done this and kind of taken care of it, because in our network, this is what we do. The same kid that got the house, a lot of these deals are off the market. They're the pocket deals that don't go on there, because do I want to put something on the MLS right away, or do I have a network of several thousand people that I can just say, you know what, if I can go to you right now, what's your name again, Eddie? If I can go to Eddie and I know Eddie's a cash buyer and I know he closes every single time and I know that the numbers add up and the system adds up, he can pay cash now, who am I going to sell it to? I'm going to sell it to Eddie because he can buy it right now. And I don't need to waste the time listing it and waiting for it. The other part too, you said something about, you had a house that you sold that took 3 months to actually sell. So that's the other thing. Because maybe I can get a killer deal on a house, right? Let's say I buy a house. Let me just use some easy numbers really quick. Let's say I buy a house for $150,000, okay? And I need to put $50,000 of construction into it. What am I in so far? What's that? $200,000, right? I bought it for $150. I need to put 50 in. I'm in $200,000 right now. Let's say I can sell that house. In theory, the ARV is $350, or let's just say it's $300. What's my gross profit on that? $100,000. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Bought it for $150, put 50 into it. I'm at 2. I can sell it for 3. That's $100,000. Now, is that a good deal?
Yes.
Is it? How many think it's a good deal? How many think it's a bad deal? How many are not sure? How many won't raise their hand no matter what I say? Cool. The truth is you don't have enough information. Because, like your house, say that house sells 15 days or less. Is that a good deal?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. But if it takes me a year and a half to sell that house, is it any longer a good deal? No, because I'm eating up a lot of, maybe I'm using a hard money lender, maybe I own that cost, or maybe I have to pay like a balloon at the end of the 6 months or a year or whatever it is. So I would like to get these deals, and this is where the system teaches you, in very fast moving markets and what we call hypermarkets and super hypermarkets that are moving 0 to 15 to 30 days is kind of like the edge of where we're even interested in doing it. I told you I live in Arizona. Listed a property, went under contract, sold in 2 days. Sold in 2 days.
Yuma?
Yuma? No. No, but there's some Marines in Yuma. Is that where you were stationed? Marine? Three in Yuma?
Pendleton.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Yuma's just, there's not a whole lot going on. I like Santa Barbara. So, does that make sense, guys? I want to be doing these deals in places that are hypermarkets. What's that, Dan? Yeah, I'm good, actually. If you guys are cool, you activated everything. What questions do you have of me? I'm here to hang out, whatever. I got to catch a flight, but I got some time. Ask me something about the workshop, ask me something about real estate, ask me something about who cares.
No, the guy,
Whatever.
the 18-year-old, where did he get the financing from? He didn't use his own money?
He didn't use his own money, he didn't use his own credit.
So, where
Okay.
did he get his money?
He got it from a private lender within our network. So what we'll do is, so the network is about 8,600, I can look on the page right now, it's about 8,600 people all across the country. And half the people that come to these trainings have money, half of them don't. So when we do certain types of advanced trainings, we'll raise anywhere from $4 to $12 million in one event that is there for students. It's money that's there, you know the system, you understand it. And what the cool part is beyond this, and I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but beyond this, you not only would have access to that group, but you'd have access to every student who's ever been to that training ever. And it's just fast because you can send a text or you can send a message that everybody can see. Anybody use Facebook?
Yes.
How many of you use Facebook? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Somebody's lying. Everybody uses Facebook. At least looks at it. You should for your business. If you say something on Facebook, every single person that you know can see it immediately, right? So wouldn't it be cool to go, hey, I have this house, here are the numbers, I need $300,000 now, message me. Would that be pretty cool? And now everybody can see it, and they can message you, and you have funding for that deal. That's something that's a definite possibility. So give yourself a shot. What other questions you got? You guys good?
You mentioned something about hard money lending.
Yeah?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It can be both. Yeah, it depends on, here's what it is. Do the numbers add up and make sense? Am I going to get screwed over on the percentage rate and the points on it? Do the numbers add up or do they not? Because that's the biggest part, is Armando's super precise about this stuff. Here's the deal. Here's how much we purchased it for. Here's how much it needs construction-wise. Do you think it's pretty important or, I guess, beneficial to know the construction numbers before you even talk to a contractor so you know if they're giving you the right price or not? Here's everything in line. Do the numbers add up? Do they not? And then move on. And that's the biggest lesson I can tell you. I've lost $50,000 of my own money and $108,000 of my investors' money because I'll tell you I did something dumb where Armando told me he wouldn't do the deal. And I was like, yeah, I like this house. I think it's going to be good. Sat on the market for 7 months and just ate up every single bit of profit. But how many times do you think I had to learn that lesson? One time, yeah. And I was like, okay, now I'm just going to follow this book. But yeah, hard money lenders, they can be good and bad. How many points are they charging? Typical, they'll charge anywhere from 10 to 18%. Could be good, could be bad. Look at the numbers on what you're purchasing it for, how long you're going to carry it for. It's short-term loan. Cool. But we'll talk about that, and we'll go in depth about it. All right, guys, last one. I think that we're good, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
How are you picking your hot markets, basically? Because you're saying that you guys nationwide, whatever.
Yep, yep.
So how are you doing that in a sense? Okay.
So Armando has an entire system dedicated and staff dedicated to finding these areas. And what we're doing is we're looking at markets in the country that are moving very, very quickly. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yeah.
They're moving quickly, so we go, okay, well, what can we extract out of here? Why are they moving so fast? Are there a lot of people moving there? It's happening in San Antonio, it's happening in Dallas right now, it's happening all over Southern California, happening in Phoenix. Like I said, 2 days on market. You know, those are good problems, okay, guys? So if you want anything else, you can hang out afterwards, whatever, I gotta go. But thanks for giving me some time.
I will be there.
Awesome.
Now, it's at Stork Road in Goleta, and anybody who's been to our meetings out there already knows the location. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming up, he's going to be there 3 days. I would advise you showing up there. It's free. A lot of good information. Okay? So we're going to take a quick little break. I'm going to get Kent O'Dare up here. I've got to hook up his computer and whatnot, so grab some food or whatever you want to do for a couple minutes, and we'll get right back.
And there's some chairs right over here, guys. We're going to be streaming live, so we'd like if everybody could please move up and fill the room. That way everything looks nice and full when we go live.